Welcome again. Today I am doing again another agriculture lesson, and this time around I want to do an agriculture grade 9 lesson. And grade 9 is a continuation of the various lessons that we have been doing from grade 7 and grade 8. In one way or the other way they are related. Today I am preparing lesson for what called integrated farming, and the most important thing for my learners to understand is what is integrated farming. And this one is defined as a farming approach. I'm making the notes so at the same time. To farming, a farming approach to farming, or whereby different, very important, but compatible. Compatible simply means related. Compatible agricultural enterprise enterprises are practice. Very key statement. We are being told this is different. The word different, unique but compatible. Different but related. Agricultural enterprises are practice. E.g., example, we have a dairy farming being done, and where we have a dairy farming, we can have a poultry farming, because the poultry will feed from the droppings. We can also have a rabbit farming, because where we have a dairy farming, most likely we have hay. We also have fish farming, because from the poultry product the fish can benefit, so we have fish farming. So all of them can be in one place. We can have beekeeping, because when we have trees, we have flowers, they can still work hand in hand. We can have crop farming, because several crops can be turned into feeds for all the animals. We can also have tree growing in the same farm. So this one simply means depend on the size of land. All this practice on a single farm, on a single unit of farm. So when you find all these practices are being done, then they become useful. In this sense, one waste product from one enterprise is a resource or an input for the other enterprise. Very important. Waste from poultry is a feed for fish. Waste from rabbit is a fodder for soil, that is fertilizer. Waste from dairy farming is useful in farming. Poultry product feed fish product. Bee farming pollinate plants. So one is a fodder for another. So because of this, several enterprises are practiced in one compound. The many enterprises mutually benefit each other. That is a very important product that we can be able to look at. So this is the information whereby in activity you are supposed to understand, share your understanding on what is integrated farming. Discuss some of the possible farming enterprise that may be practiced in integrated farming in your locality. Discuss how a farming enterprise that you have suggested help in conservation of resources in the environment, and present the rest of the class. That information alone, I give you an activity. So the learners CBC is B, it's a learner base, and we are told, what do you understand? Do you understand? What do you understand by integrated farming? Integrated farming. The learner should be able to research. Use a laptop, phone, books, newspapers. What do you understand? Newspapers. Number 2, possible farming enterprise. Possible farming enterprise or practices. Enterprises practiced in integrated farms. Integrated farms at your local place. At your local place. For instance, where I am teaching from Ilmeshuki, Narok County, Kilgoris, that is in Kilgoris zone. Then, how do the enterprise you have identified conserve the environment? How is the rabbit farming conserving the environment? How is the fish farming and conserving the environment? How is the poultry farming conserving the environment? Next, identify components of integrated farming. Last but not least activity is present to the class your findings. As usual, upload to several social sites. Like I'm going to upload my notes social sites, e.g. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, email to a colleague, all those social sites. So given that information, we are now going to the latter part, what we call the component of integrated farming. And what are the components of integrated farming? The integrated farming components are what we have just stated. Dairy farming, all those are the components of integrated farming. With that information, I will give you the components. What components of integrated farming? What comprises integrated farming? As I said, dairy, poultry, rabbit, fish farming, bee, crop farming, tree growing, what you have just covered in our grade 7. So another activity, given a chance, a third activities I can be able to give my learner is to have an actual visit to an integrated farming. So the next activity is With the guidance of your teacher, visit a household that practices integrated farming. Observe how the various farming activities complement each other. Find out from the member of the household what they considered before establishing integrated farming. Write short report of your finding from the visit and present your finding in class. Definitely this is another good activity, that is components of integrated farming activity. And a component, visit a farm. Visit a farm. It can also be on YouTube, it can be on TikTok, it can be on a book. You can visit a farm on a book. Observe how farm components aid each other, how the farm components aid each other. What was considered before venturing into integrated farming. In this one, you can even make a phone call to a integrated farmer in your class. As a teacher, maybe in class, I can be able to make a phone call to a colleague who is practicing the same and can be able to give us the input. That will become very clear things to do. Write a report from the visit. Remember the visit we have said, even YouTube is a visit. Then present the findings. In class, in video form, in YouTube, in email, because we are building a larger society that we can be able to have a look at it. Why the various constitute? Why do I keep rabbits? How do rabbits help each other? So from there, our next activity is designing now a model of an integrated farm. We'll be able to look at designing a model of an integrated farm. But before we design, because this is a grade 9 lesson, let me first of all give the importance of integrated farming, and then we can be able to design after we have known the importance of integrated farming. So that will take me to importance of integrated farming. What are the importance of having all these inputs in one? Efficient utilization of resources. Efficient resources utilization. E.g., livestock waste is manure and poultry feed and fish feed. That is very important. Crop residue is manure, rabbit feed, fish feed and fish feed. Rabbit drops is manure, fish feed. B is pollinators and security to fruits. What else? All those are efficient use of resources. The next one, soil conservation. Soil conservation is achieved since everything is organic. From manure is organic as well as recycling is being practiced. So in your small farm, everything is available. So soil is conserved. So trees hold soil. Animals give manure. Plants give foods. Poultry, fertilizer. Rabbits, weed control and fertilizer. Soil in the long run is conserved. Promotion of environmental sustainability. Promote environmental sustainability. E.g. chemical use is reduced because we have sufficient fertilizer. Animals product provide energy, e.g. biogas. Trees provide energy in form of fuel, wood, charcoal, because if we have so much of them in the farm, become that one. If we use that one, all sustain environment, all sustain nature or their environment. Diversification of income. So that's another important. Income diversification all year round. All year round. You can sell vegetables, sell veggies, honey, fertilizer, fuel source, etc. Promotion of food and nutrition security. Promote food and nutrition security, because in the long run enough food is available. Food is in abundance. Food is in abundance. There is a lot of food. Variety of food exists. So that will become nutritionally secure. High yields per acre is another benefit. High yields per unit area. High yields, a lot is produced. So this thing is so important. So before we practice this farming, then what are the factors to consider before setting integrated farms, because going forward by our discussion, integrated farming is like everything in it. So what do we consider before? Number one, suitability of ecological condition. Suitable ecological conditions is rain and soil be considered. Soil, temperature, etc. must be suitable. Suitable ecological condition, that is rainfall, temperature, soil type. Cost of running the farms. Land availability, labor, resources, skills to manage, because for you to run this thing, those are the factors I will consider before I even start setting up what you call an integrated farming. So that is very key. So importance of integrated farming, and what will I consider before I set up an integrated farming. And to wind up it all, I now have to design a model of an integrated farm. So the last part of the topic is designing a model of an integrated farm, and this one is done in a form of an activity. You can make a model, you can declare the appropriate farming activities to be included. So the first thing is make a model of an integrated farm. You discuss appropriate farming activities to be included in your integrated farming model. You may choose a combination of enterprises from the following: dairy farming, sheep, goat farming, poultry farming, pig farming, rabbit farming, fish rearing, beekeeping, vegetable farming, fruit farming, cereal production farming, legume production, fodder production, tree power farming, and among others. That one adds to me the components of the farming that I've not added. Dairy, sheep, sheep farming, this one with data component. Goat farming is one of it. Poultry is there. Pig farming is another component. Rabbit have been put. Fish rearing, beekeeping, vegetables is another component. Fruit farming, I have fruit farming is another component. Cereal farming, cereal farming or cereal production is another component of this type of farming that we are discussing. Legume is another component. Fodder production is what we discussed in grade 9. Tree farming, etc. So in your deciding, you must decide what are you going to do. Then on a manila paper, draw a diagram to illustrate an integrated farming system. Study the example shown on how the resources are conserved within this one. Dairy farming, feed on cattle. Fodder, legumes and iswan, and fish, all them go to the fish pond. Cattle manure can be used to fertilize the fish pond, hence allow growth of various organisms such as planktons, which supply food to fish. Slurry from cattle and waste from the fish pond are used to improve soil fertility, leading to high production of grass, pasture, maize, and sorghum. Fodder from legumes and shrub fix nitrogen into the soil. Thus, if planted together with grass, maize, and silage, soil fertility is improved, leading to more feeds for the cattle. Fodder from legumes and shrubs are a source of protein for cattle and fish. Then you may also create a farm model at the back of the classroom or any other suitable place in the school compound. Show several farming activities that constitute integrated farming. You may use materials such as clay, plastine, water, offcuts, timber, stones, cartons, cardboards. Use polythene sheets. Use papers, common vegetations in the area, among others. All the group members should be assessed. Explain the importance of your proposed integrated farming model to other learners in your area. And this is now the project that I expect my students to undertake. And with that information, the topic comes to an end. But I expect them to do an activity of designing a model of an integrated farm. After you have designed the model, you upload it online and it becomes part and parcel of our lesson. Once again, thank you for taking part in our lesson, in which we have learned integrated farming, where we have begun and where we have come to the end. Where you meet my lesson, you can meet it in Isaac Ledama. I have several channels, definitely, but I will put it in Isaac Ledama Suke Lessons, Camera Masai. If you come a chance again, you meet it Isaac Ledama Suke Humu Duniani, Camera Masai, still be fine. But remain, this is now a lesson meant to inspire remote learning. Maybe I can't make it in class. For instance, as I make this video, this is on 30th April 2026. Tomorrow will be an holiday, and possibly a student has not attended my lesson, but by this video, they can be able to attend my lesson. Once again, thank you and be blessed. See you next time in remote learning.